Where are you originally from?
Originally Kenosha, Wisconsin.
Okay.
I grew up there. I've lived in a lot of other places, but Kenosha is probably home.
Was Parkside your first choice in a college?
But I really wanted to stay closer into Parkside and Wisconsin at the time. And I just remember hoping I got in. And I know I also applied to Milwaukee and I got in there, but I went to the campus and it just didn't fit with me or feel right. And so I was really excited for the opportunity to be at Parkside. And I lived on campus. I lived in the apartments, and so I had a roommate that was a junior. That was an interesting experience, but what really blossomed out of that was that I was invested in RHA and some of the things that we have in the halls really early on in my career, and I was able to go to conferences pretty fast after that too that were housing based, and I didn't know at the time that my career would kind of go in that direction, but Parkside was the place that afforded me a lot of those opportunities. I was an RA. I also worked in the LGBTQ Resource Center. I worked in academic advising as a scheduler. I worked in the Ranger News for a hot minute. I remember it was the first semester. Yeah, I was really fortunate I saw a large scope of different university resources that students would provide, and it helped me do my RA job better. It helped me be a better student affairs practitioner and professional now that I am older and I'm in the career. And that was something I knew was pretty unique to Parkside. I was a business major, and I fell in love with Wendy Lee's Hurwitz's class. Dave will know who she is. And Dr. Wendy was the first one that told me that my paper could be something I could present at a conference. And I think I wrote about Father's Day and the ritual behind it and how it's different from Mother's Day or something. And I remember her comment to me, and it just made a really big impact pretty early. And then I just fell in love with every communication class I had there. Everything from the media to, and then each professor having their own style. It was just, because they had different forms of communication themselves, but then they all worked in the department. And then the conflict resolution certificate from Jonathan Shaler is one that I did, and that I continue to use every day. I think I'm still learning in that area. There's so much to learn and know, practice. I use it constantly. And then they just built a really good network of life skills that I can't ever maybe pay them back for. I came back to try to maybe give something back to the community in my own little way, but again, the knowledge I have is going to last me years and years, and so it's just amazing. I don't have one favorite professor. I think of all of them as very much people in my life that were there as a team during a very particular time in my life for a reason, and I was just, I'm so grateful. Some of them still reach out to me, much like Dave, and I love being included, and it's they just continue to be a theme in my life, and I just really appreciate that special gift. So currently I'm an REC, and so it's Residential Education Coordinator, Residence Coordinator, and so each school, so Parkside has a hall director, and this role is very similar to that. It's just that the community is much larger. So Purdue's population is a Big Ten school, so they have more students, more of everything. And so the hall that I'm working in is Tarkington. It's an all-male community, and myself and our clerk are the only two females. And I help with event planning. I manage the RA staff. I have a senior RA that I mentor and help. And then I'm on a team of RECs, and there's about 16 of us maybe. And so I'm doing a very similar job to the hall director position. I just recently had moved from Parkside. So all the experience that I gained professionally from being in the halls there is what I brought to this role. I think communication-wise, I think within the classes, I learned how to be confident. I learned how to be prepared, how to come with my authentic self, which is a big positive and something that in the interview process, I think really made me stand out as a candidate, because they remembered me, and there were moments we were having where I was able to just kind of let go and, be in the present moment in a way that we get taught in class, especially when I move or when I interview to different states and in different locations. There's already a group norm happening, and the communication classes really helped me spot that. I'm glad I'm a communication major. I'm really thankful that I, for better or worse, kind of have the knowledge I have. Sometimes it's funny because I can watch a meeting happen and I have this whole other context to the meeting that other people don't have, and that sometimes is always unnerving because you don't know if you're on the money or not, kind of with it. But I have found that trusting the skills and the experiences I've had is really important, and so I wouldn't change anything. One was they asked me to do a comedy performance for the spring celebration one year, and I remember being on stage and the professors came up and for some reason they were dressed up, and I think it might have been around Halloween or something, I forget, or it was the theme of that year maybe, because I know it happened in the spring. Anyway, I tried to do a comedy performance and I feel still so bad about it. It was pretty bad. And then the professors were so great about it. And I just remember, again, kind of being so supported in this comedy path. And it has really helped my career too, even though that's not the main focus. It brings a lot of joy and laughter and just the knowledge that kind of on a daily, if you bring fun into your life, you're going to be fine. And I just appreciate them fostering that so early on. To stay focused, jobs are important and they help you be a student. However, nothing helps you be a student more than doing the work of the student. So I was always really interested in all these other activities. But depending on your career goals and what you want, staying focused on the classes that aren't really your jam or the professors you're taking longer to get to know is really important. Also, a recommendation is get to know your professors. You don't know them until you know them. There's no way around that. You need to smile, you need to go to their office, you need to get to know their life so that you have compassion for things. And I think that, again, in communication is the best, and it's the best department to do that in, because they really do open up their life to us, and that's a gift. It's not something that's owed. And so I just think that that's an incredible opportunity, so then you can learn professionally how to do it as well, because they role model the behavior.